pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta get their fast shot.
Yeah.
Gotta get their fast shot.
Hello Britball Nation and welcome to The Scoop, doublecoverage.com's weekly-ish news show. I'm Nick Wilson-Town, Editor-in-Chief here at DC, and let's take a look at the action of the past week across the Britball Nation. We'll start out with the news, and obviously the biggest news this week was the GB Lions women's trip to the World Championships over in Langley, Canada, where they had great success in their first outing, upsetting the stakes and taking on the European champions Finland to emerge with a hard-fought, nail-biting victory. 27-21. Meaning that GB are now pretty much the top team in Europe. While it was a shaky start for the Lions, with Finland scoring on their first drive, a huge run from Ruth Madder really opened up the game and inspired the Lions' defensive unit to dominance. 2 receiving touchdowns from Jessica Anderson sandwiched the half, and there was a huge pick 6 for the IFAF game MVP, Becky Martin. But DC's own Baller of the Game award goes to Sydney Green, backup quarterback for the Lions, who many, including DC and the commentary team, didn't notice made an appearance right before the half in that final drive. Green repeated her oh so impressive feat of her first outing against Spain, where she scored a touchdown on her very first pass of the game. Obviously anyone that watched the stream knows this one came right down to the wire, with the Finns offense knocking on the door, but the Lions D that had impressed all day held firm and took away an exceptional victory, which means that at the very least GB are likely playing for a medal in their first ever World Championship. In fact, our Lions women were the only ones to upset the stakes this first day of the World Championships, with both other lower seeds losing out in heavy defeats. Australia losing out 31-6 to the hosts Canada, while the USA defeated Mexico 29-0. It was a great way to round out Women in Sport Week, and backed up by another great piece of news for women in the British game, when Elizabeth Jane Bush, or Lil Bush, of the Yorkshire Rams scored what we believe are the first points scored by a female player in Baffin. When back home, Elizabeth Jane Bush, or Lil Bush, of the Yorkshire Rams and Leeds Carnegie Chargers put what we believe are the first points scored by a female player in the BAFA National League's adult game with a fake field goal pass to the end zone. Less positive news, you may have seen me advertise on doublecoverage.com that the NFL Players Association were hosting some events up in Manchester and Scotland. These events actually had to be cancelled because of a lack of uptake. Now, in fairness, it was a combination of the late notice perhaps on arranging them on behalf of the NFL Players Association, but we as a community need to become more active in engaging with the opportunities that are presented to us. This isn't the first fantastic opportunity that's been offered to the Britball Nation that's had to be cancelled, and so as a community we've really got to try and do a better job of engaging with the opportunities offered to us, or just accept that perhaps this sport will never be more than a hobby in the UK. In self-promo news, one of the new things coming to the DC YouTube channel in the future will be Q&A videos with myself or potentially other members of Team DC. You can get in touch with us to ask anything you like about who we are, what we do, the future of DC, the future of the game as we see it. Just get in touch with us through the Google form below. Within reason, we'll answer most questions, as long as we don't get too personal or insulting. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to be able to share more about what our plans are for the growth of the game and the way we see DC moving forwards, and helping Britball grow towards where its potential lies. As ever, it's important to remind you that this week's scoop is brought to you by the ballers over at EP Sports. As if great, well-informed customer service wasn't enough, EP are also currently celebrating their 10th anniversary, so they've got some special birthday deals going on, so make sure you head over to the website to check it out. Last week, EP helped us out by having a free giveaway with the video with a pair of Adidas gloves, and you can find the winner of that prize here. This week, EP are back with even more giveaways, and we're going to be giving away one of their Wilson composite balls, either NFL or NCAA ones, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning that ball is like this video, subscribe to this channel, and put pretty much anything you like in the comments down below, although it would be great to start a conversation about what you think about some of the news we've shared this week. If you're looking to upgrade your gear this summer season, check out EP Sports' new shop near Liverpool to use their professional fitting service, or head over to www.epsports.co.uk to buy from the biggest range of football equipment in the UK. News out of the way, let's take a look at this past weekend's game, starting off as always with the Burger Watch. All burgers this week came in the lowest tier of the adult game, and it again emphasises the divide between the often smaller, sometimes newer, but that's not always the case, teams and the more established, well-organised programmes who are able to rack up hefty one-sided scorelines in a way we simply see a lot less of in the other tiers. The Apache, Renegades, Dreadnoughts, Bobcats and Storm all saw 50 burgers on Sunday, and a number of teams came rather close too. Looking to the under-17 game, and we saw two conference champs crowned this weekend across the three tournaments in action. The Manchester Titans South and the Cobham Cougars Blue were each undefeated in their tournaments, and they became locked in as conference champions, each with 11 wins and a tie for the season. In the Central Conference, the Tamworth Phoenix managed a narrow victory that saw them overtake the Birmingham Bulls in the number 2 spot in the Central. The Bulls still have half their season ahead of them, and it's looking like it could be a feisty end to the year in this conference. There were some important fixtures in the under-19s game, particularly the Birmingham Lions, who avenged their post-season loss in 2016 to the Kent Exiles and locked themselves into at least some post-season football, going 5-0 on the season so far and looking likely to be crowned as conference champs in the South. Meanwhile, in the North, EKP kept pace at the top of the conference with a confident win over the Highland Wildcats, putting the Pirates 4-0 in the year so far. Elsewhere in the under-19 game, Merseyside and the Leeds Academy Assassins remained winless with losses to Chester and Chorley respectively. To the adult game, and while the Warriors remained dominant in the Prem South, we saw some crucial scorelines up in the Premiership North. The Merseyside Nighthawks moved themselves into second place in the North and a playoff berth with their comprehensive victory over the East Kilbride Pirates. The Nighthawks offence continued to find ways to rack up points, and beyond the Pirates' Bapty to Muir connection in the passing game, the Scotsmen seemed to have little to offer in return. Meanwhile, the Wolverines moved closer to the cliff with their loss to the Sheffield Giants. It's the Yorkshire side's second win in a row, and means the Wolverines are now going to have to find 2 wins from their remaining few fixtures, and their time in the Premiership is looking particularly precarious. Alongside the disappointing loss, we also had this tape shared with us here at DC Towers. Bad Wolverines. No. Bad. To Division 1 and some big scorelines that will likely see our power rankings have a huge shake-up. The Cambridgeshire Cats continue to be architects of their own demise. A short field goal returned for a score caused their loss against the Hornets in week 9, while a pick 6 gave the London side the go-ahead score this Sunday. The Hornets' victory, combined with a shock shutout win for the previously winless Colchester Gladiators over the Kent Exiles, means that in the SFC2 East, one of these teams is probably going to win it. The Oxford Saints put in their best performance of the year, a 42-0 thumping of the South Wales Warriors that sees the Welsh side locked into a relegation spot, a rapid fall from their Prem balling days in 2016. Meanwhile in the North, the Titans move 1 win away from securing the conference crown in the NFC 1 North with their 48-6 win over a very short-handed West Coast Trojans. To Division 2 and the standout scorelines alongside all the spate of burgers were the Crewe Railroaders picking up their first win of the year over the Humber Warhawks, while the Staffordshire Surge picked up an impressive narrow victory over the Chester Romans, which allows them to leapfrog into second place in the conference, although it is worth noting that the Surge are yet to play tabletop in Shropshire Evolution this year. The Essex Spartans had a nice surprise win against the London Blitz B side, which keeps them competitive for a potential post-season trip, and similarly the Morecambe Bay Storm continue to impress in their rookie season with a comprehensive 46-22 win over fellow rookies the Nottingham Raiders that keeps the Storm competitive in the race for a post-season berth in their conference. And there you have it, Britballers, that's our whirlwind tour of the action across the Britball Nation for the past week. We've got some really exciting balling coming up, not just all the balling going on this weekend, but the GB Lions are in action again tonight or tomorrow morning. DC are going to do our best to live tweet that game and make sure we try and grab you some highlights for those of you who aren't able to stay up and watch the game. We really want you guys to get behind our Lions as they head into what is probably the greatest opportunity for this country to kind of show off the progress we're making in this sport. Remember that if you want to be in with a chance of winning a free Wilson Composite football courtesy of EP Sports, that all you have to do is like, subscribe and comment down below. We love doing what we do here at DC, but in order to keep doing it, we need your support. If you like what we do with all the videos, predictions, news, analysis, everything else we do for free, then we could do with your help by heading over to gofundme.com/DBL coverage and giving whatever you think we're worth to help us develop a site whereby we can sustain our coverage into the future of the game. But of course, in the meantime, as always, make sure you play hard, play safe, and go check out our Week 10 highlights and submit more of your own this week, Nation?